Hey there everyone, today we're talking about this year's Civil War, the good, the bad, and the could be better. And as you can probably tell by that intro, this year's Civil War event was pretty rough. To start things off, we were planning for months for this event in the Discord, which was great. I actually really liked being on that Discord. There was a lot of good times, a lot of chats to be had. It kind of got so busy at one point though that I did have to turn it off. Experiencing the game day was kind of interesting. The night prior and the whole entire weekend, it was pretty rainy and pretty miserable because of all that rain. The whole entire parking lot was flooded with mud. The campground was crazy flooded with, again, mud, water, all that good jazz. In fact, it was so muddy, my car got stuck and I had to get some help from some dudes pushing my car out. Special thanks to those guys for helping push my car out of the mud as well. It was so bad that there was a lot of squads and platoons and people just basically abandoning the event because they weren't prepared for that weather. Now what I had done was I came down with Pepper the day prior, Friday, to an Airbnb. So that actually meant that the morning of was my first time actually meeting people on the field. And thanks to that Discord, finding stuff was super simple. I found my squad. I actually really liked my squad too. On our first deployment, we were tasked with capturing a place known as Sand Bunker Hill. You guys may actually remember it from the very first Civil War video I posted, where my team was tasked with grabbing that objective location. We got in a bit of a lengthy firefight with Oregon in the surrounding orchard, and eventually we were pushed off of that objective location. And then we had to head back to what I think was probably one of the biggest headaches of the event. In order to get back to your spawn, you could either traverse up a steep gravel hill, which most opted to do, or you could head the other direction up a crazy steep embankment.
Don't break your ankle.
Don't break your ankle.
The problem with that too is that if you're going hiking up and down that all day, your morale is going to get pretty low pretty fast and you're going to lose a lot of energy going up and down that hill. And by the time I had gotten back to our spawn, Oregon basically had us spawn camped. The other thing too was that there were some objective locations that were in some pretty weird spots. For Washington to grab the optional objective, the airstrike codes, which could wipe an entire team off an objective point, they had to traverse down, again, the steep gravel hill from our spawn, through an open field, across a creek that I would probably estimate was about 10 feet to 20 feet wide, then past that through some thick brush, up the side of another steep embankment, and then finally into the orchard where you could fight over the objective. Oregon had to go down a road and then go up a road, and they were there. Yeah, there was no way we were getting this objective, even in the best of circumstances. This went on till the end of the first half, and thankfully they planned a half, a time halfway through the game where everyone could break and things could be assessed. What was talking about in Washington team was that maybe they'll organize the spawn so that they aren't quite as rough to get up and down, maybe just push it slightly down that hill or anything. That did not happen. When I returned, Washington was still spawn trapped, and it remained that way for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, because there's just no good way to get across here, is there? No. Fucking A.
In fact, it got so bad that Oregon team sent an entire squad up close to our spawn, thinking they had missed something and that it was an objective. And they started shooting into our spawn zone.
Hey, back up!
Hit! 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 I'm out!
We went, we talked with them, they realized what was happening.
This was your guys' spawn.
Oh yeah, no.
We were,
this is as far left as you can get really on the field.
Yeah, like all of our maps said that there's like a log fort at the top of this hill. This is where we were. We were told there's another objective here. And this is what we were crossing up thinking it was here. Yeah, we knew your spawn was over there.
No. The objective you're looking for is basically right in there. You guys already got it.
Okay, so that's... Yeah, I was trying to find exactly where it was.
So
No, there's no sign.
So basically at this point, you guys have kind of won. WA4 is pretty like fucking...
He's got close.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, dude.
This gun's a bitch.
Dude, yeah.
Fucking I was like, man.
I had sights on.
I think the objective they're thinking about is kind of back in there.
Yeah, I don't...
Yeah, no, our spawn's basically right back in there. You see that flag? Yeah.
Shoot them in the face.
You know, you go down this hill right here.
Gentlemen, you're log fort.
It doesn't exist.
No, it appears we were misled maybe a little bit.
Because it was towards the end of the event, they decided to charge down the hill and fight their own team.
You're gonna down the hill. Okay. The right side is easier to run down.
Oh no!
Those guys were freaking awesome. I was laughing my ass off. Regardless though, players shouldn't be having to do stuff like that in order to have a good game. And I really think that a lot of these spawns and a lot of the objectives should have been better planned by the event organizers in advance. And if they saw something going wrong, they should have changed it on the day of, which they didn't. Now, to the event organizers' credit, there was over 450 players sign up for this event. This was supposed to be the biggest Civil War event ever. And taking on that many players is a hell of an undertaking. I do not doubt that it was a lot of organization. There was a lot of discussion. I know Callahan was on that Discord making sure everything was going great for a very long time, and he had a lot of chats to respond to. Unfortunately for me, this event ended up being kind of disappointing. Now, I also know that my experience of the event was not universal. I did talk to a couple snipers that said they had a blast. I think that may have been due to the ability for their guns to kind of reach out, which kind of helps things for them. And I also talked to some Oregonians that thought that the event was at least okay for them. So I do recognize that I am not a universal opinion here. If you disagree with me, feel free to comment down below. I love having discussion in the comments. In fact, I live for comments on YouTube. That's kind of one of my favorite things to do. But if you disagree with me, I do want to hear your opinion down below. So make sure you comment. Anyways, that's going to be all for today, folks. Have a great day. Don't be a cheater. And that's all.